We are chatting with Billy Kidd, and we are at an undisclosed location by a lake in Denver, Colorado. And we're going to talk a little bit about the World Pro Ski Tour. Billy, you raced the World Pro Ski Tour. What years was that?
1970, 71, 72.
Okay. And was Moose also racing at that time? And Bob Beatty, that was his gig, right?
Yeah, Bob Beatty started the World Pro Tour, although they had some pro races in Aspen before that.
Okay.
Andro Moulter, legendary Austrian skier, won the World Pro Tour in its infancy. Then Beatty took it over, and I won it in 1970 in Verbier, Switzerland. And I had just won the FIS World Championships in Val Gardena, Italy. And then 3 weeks later, they had the World Pro Championships in Verbier. And Verbier went on to become one of the greatest ski areas in the world, in Switzerland. And anyway, one of the best things about ski racing is that you travel all over the world. It's like rodeo and some other sports where you travel and go to different countries and go to train in interesting places. And that was one of the most interesting things for me as a ski racer, because I grew up in Stowe, Vermont. My parents were the only native Vermonters that owned a ski lodge in Stowe, Vermont.
What was the name of that lodge?
The Buccaneer Motel.
Buccaneer. I thought it had something to do with pirates.
Yep.
In Stowe, Vermont, pirates? Okay.
Well, my name is William Kidd. My dad's name was William Kidd. His dad.
Bingo.
And somebody traced the family tree back and found Captain William Kidd the pirate in it. In the 1600s, Captain Kidd was one of the best known pirates in that world of piracy. And it was fascinating to find out the Captain Kidd story. But he was born in Scotland and then went to the Caribbean and was a pirate, and then retired from piracy and went to New York City in the late 1600s and was the largest landowner in New York City, which was New Amsterdam,
right,
at that time. But he buried treasure from an island called Ile Sainte Marie off the coast of Madagascar to the Caribbean and off from all up the eastern coast of the United States in the 1600s, and then went to Boston, and they threw him in irons and sent him back to Newgate Prison in London, where they hanged him for piracy. Well, when he showed up in Boston, he said, "I'm not a pirate. I know you're telling me that I'm wanted for piracy, but here are my letters of marque, which show that King William of England signed this right to be a privateer as long as you don't capture and steal from any of the English ships, only the Spanish and French and the other ships."
Right.
So the history of piracy is really fascinating.
Yeah.
And Captain Kidd was at the forefront of a lot of that, the things that happened. Treasure Island, the great story about buried treasure. If you look closely at some of the artwork in the Captain Kidd, well, the Treasure Island
right,
books,
that part of the story,
you'll see him, Captain Kidd, standing on a beach with guys with shovels digging a hole, and they've got a chest next to them. And if you look carefully, you'll see the letters W, K carved on that chest.
Uh-huh.
And that was part of the history of buried treasure in piracy history. So in any case, Captain Kidd, my dad had done research on Captain Kidd, and it was a fascinating story because I wondered when I was growing up, and especially when I was grown up and looked back at my life, for me, ski racing was partly to see how good I could get,
Mm-hmm.
and partly because that was my ticket to see the world. I had a ticket to go to Europe when I was 18.
Right.
When the U.S. ski team came back, I stayed over there and raced and traveled around and ended up in Sicily in a ski race on the side of Mount Etna in April 1962. And then I went to Portillo, Chile. And then I went to Australia. And on the way back from Chile, stopped in Buenos Aires and Brasilia and Rio de Janeiro and Trinidad and Barbados and Jamaica. That was my après skiing.
And at that age, that was really important because you probably didn't have a lot of money. You didn't have people like John
Right.
Franklin at that point
Giving me money,
Yeah.
right? He still
Yeah.
doesn't.
Still doesn't. Nothing's changed.
So for that age to be able to do that traveling, I mean, now you could do it, you know, hey, I feel like going to Rio, and you'll go to Rio. But, you know, back in those days, we were all poor.
Well, it didn't matter how old you were. If I had a ticket from Santiago, Chile
Mm-hmm.
to Miami, I could stop as many times as I wanted, as long as there were seats on the plane
Right.
and I was going closer to my destination of Miami.
Oh, wow.
So I spent 6 weeks coming home from Portillo
Yeah,
because I wanted to go to Brasilia. I was interested in architecture.
right.
And the song, The Girl from Ipanema, had just come out. I wanted to go to
Yeah, gotta meet
Ipanema
her.
in Rio. Yeah.
Speaking of that, I have tickets to go see Herb Alpert in Denver.
When
I
is
think it's
that?
next month.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think there's still tickets left. Maybe we
I'm
need to get some.
surprised that Herb Albert is still left. But
It might be Herb Albert Jr., but
No, it is Herb Alpert,
Huh.
and he's not toured probably in 40 years. But anyway, this isn't about Herb Alpert. This is
Yeah.
about you. So,
well, my après skiing too, when I came back from Australia and New Zealand, I would stop in Fiji and Tahiti and Bora Bora. And now that I'm on the edge of retirement here, where am I going to spend the rest of my life? Well, Bora Bora is really nice if you like sailing, like
Yeah.
Captain Kidd and I like.
right.
And there's a mountain on Bora Bora, but the skiing isn't that good.
Okay.
So one of the best things about skiing is travel. And part of travel is après skiing. And whether you're in America and at the end of the ski season you want to go to the beach in Mexico or Jamaica or South America, it's pretty ideal, you know, if you're a skier, and it opens up your whole vision about the world if you can actually go to Rio de Janeiro
Yeah.
and to